Long time no see, pop culture fam. It's your boy J. Rue, the comic guru, and
Kung Fu.
that's right, that boy rocking the NBA jersey. Is that the who you rocking?
This
Oh,
this this is actually when when the NBA had Adidas.
yeah. Oh,
This is
crybaby Sharonda LeBron.
and this is the his rookie year. This is the rookie year.
Yeah.
So this is from '03. So yes, so this jersey is very old. He's
I
20 years
remember
old.
I bought. I remember, back when we worked in the shoe game, I had the LeBron ones,
Uh huh.
and then I had the LeBron twos, which I thought were like probably one of the cleanest ones,
Yeah.
just because they had like that Kevlar padding on the sides. Because he's like, oh, I really like 50 Cent. And 50 Cent was wearing the fucking Kevlar vest. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, that's why it just brought back memories. But yeah, so here we go. We've been gone for a while, fam, and we've had a lot of just things just going on, and a lot of stuff going on in our personal lives. So we just got to take a little bit of a break. But we're back. We're going to be coming back with shows more regular. Every 2 weeks, you should be expecting a show from us. And season 2, we're going to kick off probably with the bang. And when this drops for everybody at least has 2 days to basically catch up with what we're going to talk about. But both of us are going to give our 2 cents, our kind of overall review, and what we thought of Disney Plus Ahsoka series. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you go first because you're not the resident Star Wars person in in our show, but
Right.
you enjoy Star Wars, and I know you had said that there's probably a couple of questions that you want to ask, but I definitely want to kind of I want to hear your overall thoughts on the show, just simply being the outside Star Wars person, and then whatever questions you have, and let's just go from there. Let's kick it off that way.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this going, people. So, Ahsoka, I liked it a lot. I thought it was awesome. I thought certain episodes kind of dragged on. I thought maybe one episode was a filler. The action was pretty cool, and to see people kind of like not complain about Ahsoka, the character. I guess it's complaining. I guess because being that from what people are saying that Ahsoka was a different person in Rebels, and when you see her beginning, she's not the same type of character kind of deal. But later on, she ends up being the Ahsoka from Rebels. She kind of changed, what I mean from
Hmm
that kind of
hmm
deal. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Fine seeing Admiral General Thrawn for first time in live action. Just the set pieces and everything with that was amazing to see. For them to actually take or do the very very best to take certain scenes or certain parts of the cartoon and make it live action was awesome. Um, so yeah, so overall, I enjoyed it. Like I said, certain parts I felt like there's a lot of dialogue. I get it. You gotta get the story moving. Um, Honestly, at one point, I think one character when it was kind of like, did you really need this character like through most of the show? And I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you who it is because if you think about it, you're gonna get mad because I know you. And but like just overall, I thought it was great. Like the way it ended, I have a whole bunch of questions on the ending. I
Yeah.
kind of I kind of get part of the ending, but this other part is like I have no idea what's going to happen with this or what this mean kind of deal. So I know you
Yeah.
better give the insight of it. So, but I got like the gist of it and
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
deal. So I got enough to kind of keep me going.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I personally, I loved Ahsoka. I thought it was a really strong Star Wars show that we hadn't probably had since Andor.
Yeah,
But it's
definitely.
funny. So it's funny you bring up the argument with with dialogue, right? Because that's all we got in Andor, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Andor. And I was the same way. I love Andor.
Yeah, yeah, it was great.
But you kind of had the same thing in Ahsoka, and it was like, the dialogue. I'm just like, well, I mean, hey, it obviously, if they could get the same writers for every single thing, it'd be obviously a completely different story. But having that been said, like I still think that some of the arguments that people, or not arguments, but some of the viewpoints and critiques that people have of Ahsoka are just kind of just asinine. They don't really understand the mythos, or they don't understand that, Dave Filoni, 2 weeks before the show came out, said, yeah, you need to watch Rebels. Otherwise, you're not going to know what is going on, who these characters are, where they've been. And so for people to be like, well, Ahsoka's not the same as she was at the end of Clone Wars, because, the final season of Clone Wars came out after Rebels ended. So it went back. And then it's almost like people forgot how Ahsoka was in Rebels. I mean, she wasn't as I would definitely say the beginning, the first half of Ahsoka, her character in the series, she was very distant, very guarded.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, because in Rebels, she finds out that Vader is Anakin, right? She technically dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sith Temple crumbles on her. And it's not until the final season that Ezra finds a gate, a portal, basically, for lack of a better terms, on Lothal that had an ancient Jedi temple in it that led to the world between worlds. And he was able to see Ahsoka fighting Vader, and he pulls her out, saves her from the temple crumbling, and then puts her back. So he saves her. Yeah. So she's, I don't want to say she's akin to like Steve Rogers, but she kind of is a woman at a time that technically should be dead.
Yes.
Right? And knowing that her master completely went to the dark side, right? Not knowing, putting two and two together, and having to fight him, and, almost defeated him. She almost did. And, and then, kind of realizing and seeing some of the same characteristics in Sabine that she saw in Anakin, I would be kind of like, hey, wait a minute. Like, there's a lot going on here, because there's, Rebels, basically the way the timeline could work, you got Rebels and you got Andor and you got Rogue One, or maybe Andor and Rebels kind of coinciding depending on what that real timeline is, and I'm not really sure exactly where it fits in. And then you have Rogue One, and then, the original trilogy. So that 10-year gap of her participating in the rebellion or not, because we don't even know that for sure, if she did or not, or if she was just in hiding, and coming back to this and be like, oh shit, well, here comes Thrawn, and I gotta go get Sabine, but we're not on good terms. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of were like, well, because one of the arguments that I saw from a pretty big podcast channel was like, well, what was the show really about? And I don't get that, because we knew going into it 2 weeks before that you had to have watched Rebels, and then we know that we have a Dave Filoni Star Wars movie. So you should not have been surprised that this whole series was going to be set up, right? And then somebody, and then that same person was like, well, if it was a Marvel show, we would all be crying and setting fire, and it was just, oh, what's set up for this and set up for that. I mean, it at this point, at least to me in my eyes, the Star Wars stuff is outweighing the Marvel stuff on Disney Plus. It just seems like that their shows are just completely better, and they're setting up their mythos that they're going to have for this live action movie.
Yeah, yes, they are, but it took them a while, because technically the Marvel shows like WandaVision, Loki season 1, Falcon Winter Soldier, those was some bangers. It's a later on, it just started going down here real fast.
We could say the first two, right? which
Yeah.
were Wanda, Vision,
Vision and Loki.
and Loki. Because Captain America and the Winter Soldier was all right.
Yeah.
It was all
I
right.
enjoyed it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was good. It's enjoyable. Like I said, it's enjoyable. But as far as like high caliber, it wasn't on par with Loki, and it wasn't on par with
Oh no,
WandaVision.
not even
And
close.
then
Like,
what did we get after that? The next best thing after
yeah.
that was Moon Knight, and even that was
I would say
rocky at
what
points.
I would say what if
Yeah, and yeah,
and the,
and it's a cartoon. So
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean. So
yeah.
so
And the
yeah.
Star Wars
So
stuff slowly. Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. Star Wars. Yeah, like
yeah.
Andor. Yeah,
With Star Wars, really, you can only say we've had one bad show, which is the Book of Boba Fett, and it's
yeah,
not. I mean, technically, it's not really that bad. It's just enjoyable action. That's just really all it is. It's a Michael Bay film. That quote unquote.
and border Obi-Wan.
No, see, no. See, that's the same people that are talking about Ahsoka, like, oh, like Obi-Wan and this, that, and the other. I'm like, dude, like, I think the people that are commenting on these are new Star Wars people.
Yes.
New Star Wars people. Like, they don't, they, like, to me, they haven't been there since, I don't want to say, like, since the beginning, because obviously I'm not old enough to be there since the beginning. But, like, to have, like, really time invested in it, like, getting to know the mythos, going, like, into the comic books, into the books, into the the expanded universe that's no longer canon, like all these things, and understanding the characters, watching every single show, whether it's a cartoon or not, like,
Yeah.
and then wow, I'm like, dude, like, really, like what did you expect? Like, it's in the heart of the Empire's, like, not even in the heart. It's more like towards the latter end of the infancy of the Empire, where fucking Vader and the Inquisitors were like the rule, and that was it. And of course, he's got to cut himself off from the Force and do all these other things. I mean, but it also makes sense because it fills in the gap of how would Leia know Obi-Wan other than hearing stories from her dad, and then even then, if he were to use that as a plot point, be like, well, okay, so a 5-year-old's going to remember, stories from her dad telling her, and not even her real dad at that, like,
Yeah.
about Obi-Wan and how he, fought in the Clone Wars, and you're my only hope. Like, how do you know he's still alive? How do you know anything? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, like, when you look at it in that aspect, that's the whole story. You're like, oh, which is what I was going to say about Ahsoka. Is, to me, when people say, like, well, what's this show about? This show, to me, is obviously it's set up, right? Because we don't know. We got 2 unanswered questions, like, what's calling to Balin, right?
Yes.
Right? Where there's a lot of theories, and I'm pretty sure you probably have questions on that. And then, what's in the crates? Those are the 2 really big questions, right? From the show, like, what's in the crates?
Yeah.
Like, we never got any answers for those, right? And of course, it's set up, right? You can speculate all we want, right? What it could be, but at the end of the day, to me, this show was a parallel of a master, or I'm sorry, not a parallel, but the difficulties of the relationship of the master and the apprentice, and that's all this show was about. And if you look at it through those eyes, you'll then understand, like, oh, okay, now it makes sense, because Balin and Scully, or what was her name?
Shit.
I can't remember her name. But anyways, the two Dark Jedi, right? Or I can't even really call them Sith. I don't know what they are. Fallen Jedi. We'll just say Fallen Jedi. Like, they were bonded. They were in sync.
Shin Hati.
Shin Hati, yeah. Shin Hati. Yeah, because they're technically both named after Skull and Hati, which are the Norse mythology of the wolves that chase the sun and the moon. So that's kind of but
which we kind of saw kind of in the
end credits. The end credits.
Yeah.
But so they were bonded, and then you have 2 former allies that were bonded and separated for whatever reason, and they're trying to come back together, and both of them have grown in those 10 years of absence without each other. It's like saying I haven't seen my brother in 10 years, and then 10 years later you get back together, and like there's that awkwardness because like what have you been up to? What are you into now? Like you don't know.
Yeah.
And the fact that Sabine has been trying to get this connection to the Force, because in the Star Wars universe, everybody has a connection to the Force. To quote Yoda, it's all around us, right? And she's trying to access that to prove not only herself, but to Ahsoka in accepting her as the apprentice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the episode with Anakin, right? Episode 5, I believe. And people were hating on that episode. And I'm just like,
I don't know why.
I don't know why. Why people were hating on that episode?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Well, I'm gonna tell you. I think I know why.
Okay.
I think what it was is it wasn't. It was certain people hating on it. It was on episode 5. It was Rebels people hating on a Clone Wars episode, and then on episode 6, it was Clone Wars fans hating on technically a Rebels episode. You see what I'm saying? The fandom, because
I mean, yeah, I could understand that, but
I think a lot of fans like I've noticed too. There's Clone War fans and there's Rebel fans.
Oh yeah, There's definitely a two-party system in that aspect, but like me, I see through all that. I see through that bullshit. Like to me, that's just BS. Like either you like Star Wars, and there's some things that aren't going to be good, but you're still going to like it, or you're just going to hate on it, and you really don't like it. You just say you like it, but you know what I mean. It's just like I like cake, but it's too sweet. You know, like well, do you like it or not? Like it doesn't make any sense. So with the Anakin episode, people were like, wow, well. It was just fan service, and what was the whole purpose of the whole episode? Dude, the whole purpose was him giving her the final lesson that he never got to give her.
Yes.
Like, again, if you didn't watch Clone Wars, or if you didn't watch Rebels, especially Clone Wars, because this is where it's leaning from. Like, she got accused of murdering some senators. And then turns out that it wasn't her.
But she got put in jail, and all kind of crap happened to her.
Yeah, and then she walks away. She's like nobody in the Jedi Order besides you, as my master, trusted me. So why do I even belong here anymore? So she just lost her faith and walked away. And then when we get the final season, she comes back and she's like, "I'm still going to call you master, but I'm not coming back. I'm not going to be your apprentice anymore." And so he's like, "Okay. Well, cool. You don't have a lightsaber, so here's your new lightsabers." And he gives her lightsabers back. And case in point, which is what I'm going to say about the whole relationship between master and apprentice, is in Clone Wars when we're first introduced to Ahsoka, she has the one lightsaber, and it's green. She has a green bladed lightsaber. Okay. Anakin shows that she's always losing it. And so to teach her a lesson, he's like, here's 2. You're so acrobatic. You're so all these other things. I think one lightsaber is just too easy for you in a sense. And you're just not giving it your full attention. Here's 2 lightsabers. And then from there, they're blue, like her master. It's the bond, right?
Yeah.
So what happens in Ahsoka? Ahsoka has... Sabine has Ezra's old lightsaber, which is what? Green.
Yeah.
What is Ahsoka's original lightsaber? Green.
Yeah.
Okay. When Ezra gets back on the ship in the finale, and he starts rebuilding his lightsaber,
it's blue.
It's blue. But what's the piece that he uses at the end?
See, okay, so I don't know what that. I don't know what that piece.
So he uses.
It's a piece that his master, Kanan.
So he uses the exact same emitter, which is the top part of the lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
So he uses the exact same emitter as Kanan and Kanan's lightsaber was blue, and so therefore when he put in his kyber crystal, it's blue. The parallel, the connection between the master and the apprentice. Now, at the end, like you could say, well, if you're going to match colors, it really doesn't make sense because Sabine has green and Ahsoka has white. Well, the reason she has white is because she took those lightsaber crystals from Inquisitors, right? In the what's the shorts when they did the shorts, the Tales of the Jedi. You see how she gets the lightsabers.
Okay. I got you.
And since they were red, she had to. So Sith have to make the kyber crystals bleed in order for them to turn red, right? And so she cleanses the dark side out of them, and therefore they come out white. So yeah, so like Sabine doesn't have a dark side, user's lightsaber to turn white. But again, it's the relationship between the master and apprentice. She's bonded. She has the connection to the Force. She helps Ezra, blah blah blah. And then other people's like, well, she just learned how to use the Force for the first time. How the fuck was she supposed to like? Dude, it's the Force. Like, it's not fucking real. Like, like it's space magic. Like, I don't know. Like, only George Lucas and Dave Filoni are gonna know. Like, maybe her connection to the Force allowed her to do those things, and then it's like, hey, I'm speaking to you now, right? It's like a connection. It's almost like a psychic connection between a completely different being that you can't see, and it's saying you can do these things now. And in that split second, you're like, okay, I can force push, I can do these things, I can do all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention, she's seen Ezra and Ahsoka do it throughout the shows, so it's like it's not that really far fetched.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because I was watching. I was like, when the fuck this bitch Ezra could do a force push? Like, is that new? Is the force push he could do? Is that new? And then all of a sudden she's like, "You gonna jump? I'm gonna push you. You gonna pull me over?" You're like, "What, bitch? You have no. You can't use the force yet." Trust me. I could do it. I was like, "Oh my god." Then I was like, "Okay, I guess she got the force now. She know how to use it now." All of a sudden, from can't pull a cup over, but she can pull a lightsaber over like 4 episodes later.
Well, I mean, the thing is like, everyone had that same opinion, but like it's like the fight or flight. I guess what triggered it is the fight or flight, right? Like she's like, either I'm gonna have this connection to the Force,
or not have it at all,
right? It's the do or the do not, right? The whole thing with Yoda, do or do not. There's no try. And I think she realized that, and that's why she was able to pull the lightsaber and get her connection to her stronger connection to the Force. Because everybody in the Star Wars universe has a connection to the Force.
Yes,
it's just how much attuned to it are you?
Yes, I just hope that someone out there could do this. So I need to see like a quick, maybe 1 minute video of all of the Star Wars Masters and Apprentice. And I need to see every apprentice that walks away. I need this music playing in the background. Fuck that shit, I'm out. Fuck that shit, I'm out. On every single one of them. Because it seems like every apprentice at some point has told the master, fuck this shit, I'm out this bitch. Until later on. Seems like that's the common theme. Until always 10 years later, they come back together. So whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, and then everyone's all like, well, so Ezra made it home, and he's back with Hera, and they're stuck. And then Ahsoka's like, well, we weren't supposed to go with him. Ezra was supposed to go home. That was the whole idea.
Yes.
And everyone's all like, well, that's fucking dumb. How are they going to stop? Maybe they're not there to stop Thrawn. Maybe that's Hera's job. Like, that's Hera's destiny. That's Ezra's destiny. They're there to stop Balin, which I'm interested to hear, to see what you thought about that storyline.
I thought that was, first of all, R.I.P.
Oh man, dude! I will definitely say probably the best character of the show for sure.
I think honestly, I would say he's maybe top 10 best Star Wars characters.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's definitely up there.
He's not top 5. He's definitely top 10 because he was
I don't know, man. He might be in my top 5. Like
he could be.
I mean, technically, he beat Ahsoka.
Yes,
And then
And
when they
just
fought
like,
again, he told her, he's like, you can't defeat me.
and not just that, just like his Movado, like just like, girl, come on, like he just cool with it. Like he was just cool with it.
He was like a stoic knight. Like, you know what I mean? Like he just had like that confidence and his back was
All
straight and he's just
at
like, yeah, he
all
had that
times.
regal, almost like he was almost like akin to Count Dooku in a way, like almost like he was royalty.
Yes, yeah, he was
Like
just like,
he just had that bravado about him.
yeah, he's that guy. Like, okay, so if back in the day, when we was younger, of course, or whatever, you go somewhere and you see like you look around, you're like, okay, that guy, I don't trust that guy. He like you know what I'm saying? Like you walk into a
Yeah,
room and you just have a
yeah,
you can walk into a room and see all these people, but for some reason you're like, I'm gonna fuck with all y'all, but I'm not gonna fuck with him. There's something about him that's I'm not gonna fuck with because I
yeah,
just don't. He gives up that kind of vibe, that
yeah,
kind of deal. Which he's cool. And he's cool with it. He's
yeah.
like lean on the wall, just like what you want to do, man? I'm just here chilling, man. I'm just here chilling, man. Doing my thing. I'm gonna work some shit up later. So y'all do what y'all did. I'm gonna get mine. And he's patient with it. That's the most dangerous part. He's very patient because he knows that his time will come.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
a very patient man, especially like any kind of Star Wars or Marvel or DC, the patient villains are the ones that are the most dangerous villains because
yes,
they just gonna take their time and let shit just marinate, whatever, ever. And he's like, okay, okay, let's go. Kind
yeah, exactly, yeah.
of so, but
So, um,
so here's what I think he went to. So here's my I'm just guessing. I think he knows I think where he went to, that statue is where the entrance way into the world of worlds is.
well, remember he sees that light off in the distance in another mountain.
Yes,
So
yes,
I think okay. So the mountain, there's a carving of the Father and the Son,
yes,
and then well, so if you're looking at the screen on your left side, right,
yes.
there's the other side of the mountain, and you could tell it's crumbled, and that was a statue of the daughter.
For the daughter, yes,
Right. So again, if you don't know what we're talking about, in Clone Wars, there was an episode where Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka get transported into the Force, and you meet the Father, the Son, and the daughter. The Father is the perfect balance of the Force, both good and bad, light and dark. The Son is dark, and the daughter is light. Okay.
oh,
They forced Anakin to make a choice between either saving Obi-Wan or Ahsoka, and he does both, right? And the father wanted Anakin to take his place because he was dying. He saw Anakin as the chosen one, which he is, and was supposed to bring balance to the Force, which is what he is. But he rescues his friends, and they end up dying anyways, right? The wills of the Force, I believe that's what they're called, or there's something gods. I can't remember exactly what they are. Anyways, so in Rebels, were scenes with the owl that are always going to Ahsoka. Ahsoka always sees
yes.
this owl type alien creature. That's supposed to be a representation of the daughter. But we never see any representation of the son, who is the dark side of the Force.
No.
And
Side note, are you talking about the Morris gods?
yeah, the Morse gods. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think, and I think this is the theory that's kind of circulating. I think the reason Anakin can get into the world between worlds is he has now become the father.
He's the father. Yes. Yes.
Because he was the chosen one and he was so strong in the Force that when he was saved by Luke, he then became the father. And
Yes. Ahsoka.
and I think Ahsoka is representation of the daughter. And we don't know exactly who the son is unless the son is calling out to Balin. So, but there's also the other thing is that it may not be the son calling out, that it's the mother. So there was the mother too, right? The father and the mother and the two kids. And the mother in the expanded universe was like she was a pure dark side. Like she was bad. Like she was no good. So that could be who's calling out to Balin to get revenge. So, and I think that was kind of the reason why we saw Anakin at the end, right? Because Sabine was like looking at something, and then Ahsoka's like, "Well, what do you see?" She's like, I don't know." And then the camera pans back, and it's Anakin looking at him, and he smiles, but then he's got that face like, "Ah, I don't think they know what they're in for yet." And yeah, I think because he knows that they're going to be tested.
Who knows? Or you think Anakin knows they're
Oh
going to be
yeah,
tested? Oh yeah, for sure.
because because otherwise we would have seen other Jedi in the world between worlds. We just would have. If we would have seen Qui-Gon, we would have seen Yoda, we would have seen Obi-Wan. We would have seen other Force users in the world between worlds. But the only one that we saw, and who could, and case in point, who could take Ahsoka through time without the portals, was Anakin.
Yes.
Because in the Rebels, they had to go through the portals through these little windows. They looked like little stained glass. Well, I wouldn't say stained glass, but they were just circular type windows that they could go through. But in Ahsoka, that was not the case. Now, maybe it wasn't the case because maybe Anakin was using the Force and it was all in Ahsoka's mind, or not. But again, we don't know. We just know that this was going to be a setup for season 2 of Ahsoka. Probably a setup, maybe even season 5. Is it 5? Are we going for season 5 of Mando already?
No, I thought 4.
Is it 4 or 5?
Oh, I thought it was 4.
Maybe it is 4. Maybe it's 4. Okay. See, and then there you go. So maybe we have something in season 4 of Mando, and then probably another season of Book of Boba Fett. And all these things are going to lead into the whole Thrawn stuff because we got rid of Moff Gideon. He's gone, and his whole little like y'all can go get Thrawn. I'm gonna do my own thing, and then he gets blown to smithereens. And then now they're back on Mandalore. But what's going to be the other threat? Like now we have Thrawn on Dathomir. So I don't know, man. I mean, to me, the fun and the enjoyment of Star Wars is not knowing, like, where's it going to go? Like, to me, it's going to pay off because the fact that we are seeing Dave Filoni really kind of take the reins of Star Wars away from Kathleen Kennedy is exciting. Is the exciting part. I mean, and if they wanted to, because they have, like I told you before, if they wanted to, they could really redo the sequel trilogy by utilizing the world between worlds.
Yes, they can. So, who is okay? So you think okay? So it's nothing. So do you think in season 2? Well, of course they probably will show you who the son is, but do you think it's going to be the same person who we think it is, or the same character from was it from Rebels?
From Clone Wars.
From the Clone Wars.
Technically they're dead. Their physical bodies are dead, and they're now part of the Force. They're not Force ghosts because we never saw them be Force ghosts. So I just think that they're a representation of the Force, because that's why Ahsoka sees the owl creature alien thing, and we don't know what Balin sees, because there's often times where we see Balin just kind of looking out, like being stoic. Like to us, it looks like, oh man, he's just being stoic. But maybe he sees something like Ahsoka can only see the owl. Maybe he sees something that's representing the son or the mother.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
Maybe that could be the reason why he's there. Maybe because whatever he sees, if it's a soul, Force ghost, or whatever, it maybe it's calling for Balin as the body of that.
It could be. He could absorb and be the avatar of that of
Yeah.
that specific character, which wouldn't be the
Yes.
first time because, again, in the expanded universe, there was other characters that got possessed by dead ancient Sith. Like I think there's one character that got possessed by Darth Bane, who invented the rule of two. Um, so like it can happen. It's
Oh,
Star Wars.
especially
Anything can happen.
yeah, especially now. Now you talk about witches and all this other stuff going involved
Well, the witches
and
were in Clone Wars.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So the yeah, and Dathomir has its own lore and mythos and things like that. With the you got the witches. There were the mothers, and they were they use space magic, right? But it's almost like they're force wielders. That's basically all they are. They just manipulate the force in a different way. And
Yeah.
then you have primarily I forgot exactly what the males are called that have that's basically what Darth Maul is. Um, I mean, he's from Dathomir. He's you know, of that race, but they have a certain name for the males. I can't exactly remember what it is, but so yeah, yeah, no, I mean, we definitely have some exciting times coming when it comes to Star Wars. So yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, to me, I gave Ahsoka, I gave it a 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I just
I feel
thought it
about
was, I thought it was
eight.
really,
I'll give it an 8.
yeah, I thought it was really, really strong. Probably to me was a lot more entertaining because the action sequences were good. I think
Yeah.
with Andor, the action sequences were very few and far between, but when there was action in Andor, it was good. Same thing with Ahsoka. When there was action, it was good. I saw some people commenting and hating on Rosario Dawson doing the fight scenes and things like that. Like, I mean, come on, like obviously this girl's not a martial artist, or she's an actor. She's doing the best she can. Like by
Yeah.
saying that, oh well, why don't they just bring in a stunt double and put her in makeup and you can't really tell the difference? Come on,
I
guys,
was
like really?
hey, honestly I was expecting Ezra to be much more of a badass with a lightsaber.
Well, he
He
hadn't had one, dude. He hadn't had one in 10 years.
Yeah, but he did say he's been training, even though it wasn't with a lightsaber. But I guess he did more force training than anything, I guess,
Yeah,
and so on. So I was expecting him to
I
come
mean,
just like old school,
he
just
was
like
pretty legit, dude. Like he did.
he was pretty legit. Yes, I was expecting. I guess from I did see images and clips of Clone Wars, Rebels, and that kind of deal. His action scenes. I was expecting okay, whatever. So at least close to it, but you can only do so much
Yeah,
as an actor and that kind of deal.
dude. I will tell you this. I honestly thought that final shot, not the final shot, the second to last shot of where Sabine was like looking out, like she saw something, and then Ahsoka's like, "What do you see?" And she's like, "Oh, it's nothing, right?" And she kind of has a smile, and she kind of turns away, and then the camera finds out we get Anakin. I
Yeah.
was all like, I was this close to be like, oh, is it Kanan? Like I thought it was going to be Freddie Prinze Jr. as Kanan,
Oh.
and but then it ended up being Anakin. It was still good because it was still Anakin, right? Because he was like really proud. They're like, okay, she's now become a master in essence, right? She's now become maybe not a master, but she's fulfilled her requirements at least to be a Jedi Knight and to have be capable and responsible enough to have an apprentice and get to that level, right? But man, I there's a part of me that wishes they should have shown Kanan in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that'd been cool to see.
Yeah,
Hey, we still got season 2, so it's very much possible that that you may see him show up somewhere in that
yeah,
kind of deal.
yeah.
But
Especially if Hera and her son Jason get to see him as a Force ghost, that would be pretty badass.
I
Maybe not
I
Hera because she's just not a Jedi, but
it'll
we
be
obviously know that Jason
be
is attuned to the
Jason.
Force for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That'd be cool to see Jason see his dad kind of deal,
yeah,
and that kind of deal, and so on. So that'd be pretty cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I think just that, and I see like you said, those coffins. I still think it's some kind of like
You think it's
bunk.
coffins?
I believe I really believe those are coffins. Okay, so here's my what I think. I'm gonna just go with it. Okay, so Um, season 2, it's still the coffins. Thrawn is finally like about to attack or do some stuff, whatever. Ever. I think those coffins for that's for the movie. Was to me whatever's in those boxes or whatever is for the movie. So they're gonna
Yeah.
be there for a while. And so season 2 happens. They finally get back to where to the planet and that kind of deal. And then right when season 2 ends, they cut to, I would say, Mandalorian season 4 or 5, whatever, and he's going through his stuff. So pretty much, when Thrawn finally attacks, that's going to happen not off kilter, off screen, but that's going to probably be like toward the very end of the Mandalorian's last episode of the season, which is going to probably lead into the movie.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
so
I could see that, but I think
because
there's got to be but I want to like I guess like where and I kind of agree with you on that point, but I want to know like what's going to be the connecting factor because like at this point for
well,
Mando they have Mandalore back and he can focus on training Grogu, in the ways of Mandalore. What
so
how is that going to you know what I mean? Like how do they get brought into the fray of the fight?
Sabine.
But she's on the other planet. She's with
That's what I'm
Ahsoka.
saying. Yes, but I'm saying when she comes back and found and Thrawn is finally like doing some shit, whatever, and they say, "Hey, we can't fight this alone." Does Sabine even know about Mandalore yet? Does she know about it being finally back, or getting back to civilization again? If she doesn't, she probably finds out. Hey, let me go to Mandalore. Let me see if I can get all the Mandalorians. I hear they're now back on planet to help us fight this fight.
Yeah.
And then
That I would, yeah, I could see that for sure. I
but
think
then
as
and
far as
she
like,
but you won't see her do that until Mandalorian season.
mm,
You don't see her show up until like maybe the last 2 episodes of the Mandalorian season. Hey, that Jim Thorne is back. Then you got what Katie? Is it Katie
stack off.
Sackhoff?
Uh huh.
And she's like, "What? What you mean? Like Thrawn? Like, no way, he can't be back. No, he's back, and he's gonna unleash a world of terror to destroy us, like he did, like what happened to Mandalore. He's gonna do it to this other planet. What planet are they? Their home planet?
Mandalore.
No, the one where Hera is.
Oh, what do you mean home planet? Like
Well,
You mean Coruscant?
I guess so.
Like the
Coruscant. Yes,
capital?
yes. So is that what it is?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that's
I think they have to intertwine at some point
yeah,
because
for sure, for sure. I
yeah,
do. I agree. I think Sabine's going to be the catalyst that brings them together, but or at least gets the Mandalorians involved. But yeah, I think that there's so here's I think Ahsoka takes place at those last few episodes of Mandalore season 4 when they're fighting Moff Gideon. So like when
okay,
they're fighting Moff Gideon, and, okay, so basically like when Homegirl showed up and was like, "Hey, I know where Thrawn is," and blah 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 blah, right?
yes,
And the other people were like, "Okay, well, we're gonna wait for Thrawn," and then Moff Gideon's like, "Well, y'all can do whatever you want. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm not care. I
exactly,
don't worry.
yeah,
I'm not worried about Thrawn." I think at that point when that split happened, that's where Ahsoka takes place.
okay, I can see
And
that.
then when Thrawn comes back, it's maybe like a
The,
month or
the
two after.
the new season
Uh,
of Mandalorian, which happens during the new season.
well, yeah, probably. Depending. I mean, I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know what he's doing on Dathomir, and so that's why I think that there's either two things to me they could be in the crates. Some people say coffins, but I'm gonna just leave that as like a possibility. Either A, they're coffins and they're dead, ancient Dathomirians. I don't know exactly what you would call them, right? Because that's like their original home planet.
Yeah,
That's where their ancestors came from, and then they went to Dathomir
and the
and left that
witches
planet behind.
and the witches
That's
bring them back to life.
could be that, right? Or this is where I think it could get real nutty. Okay, I'm sorry. There's three things. This is where it can get real nutty. The coffins are not Dathomirians or Dathomirians or whatever you want to call them. What if they're ancient Sith? Ooh. And see, that's where Admiral Thrawn understands. Palpatine wanted to rule with just two.
Yes.
Him and Vader. But in order for you to fight the Jedi, you got to have more than just more than two Force users on your side. So maybe they're Sith. I don't know. Ooh, or three. We do know, dude. Okay, so first of all, I hadn't said this before. And you may or may not know this, but Grand Admiral Thrawn's ship is called the Chimera, right? His Star Destroyer. It looked freaking badass in live action. The fact that the Great Mothers put the tattoos on the ship
on the bottom of it and everything,
bro.
Yeah,
that was dope.
That was sick. Yeah, that was sick.
And to see how, because in Rebels and throughout the extended universe, his Star Destroyer was almost second to none in terms of firepower. And when all his battery cannons were just going off that, that was pretty badass. That was a badass scene.
When he said, I think he said the words, "Bring hail upon them."
Rain fire upon them.
Yeah, rain fire, rain hail upon them. For some reason, no, he said, "Rain hail upon them." For some reason, my mind went to the scene from Tombstone, where your boy Robert was like,
"Hell, tell them hell's coming with me."
Yes. For some reason, that came in my mind. Was he's really bringing it to the ass. God.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit.
And that's the other thing is I don't think people are really giving Thrawn enough credit. That's just one ship. There's other Imperial remnants that have Star Destroyers and other ships. That fool's about to have a fleet.
Oh yeah. Once he gets there and people see Thrawn is alive and ready, all bets are off.
Yeah,
it's all bets are off. He's back. Oh, fuck this! People are just the Empire is gonna revolt on its own, and they're gonna hey, his ship is here. I don't need to deal with what they was mentioned the first time. Was it episode 1 or 2 when they was working at that junkyard? They doing it because they learned
they're loyal or whatever. Yeah,
loyal. Yeah, that shit's over. When they see him, nah, fuck that. It's done. This is why we did.
And that was the other thing. The other comments that I was seeing was well, how were they? And why was all this going on under their nose? And how did they not know what was going on, dude? We saw a complete episode in Mandalorian season 4 that had to do with these ex-Empire, ranking officers being rehabilitated to be part of the New Republic. Exactly. And that one chick was secretly I'm not down with that shit. I'm working for Moff Gideon. Y'all don't even know.
Right.
So there's remnants of the Empire still in government, right? Because that's what Homeboy is.
Yeah.
They was blah, 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 blah. You're not. You're lying, and this, that, and the other. Oh, I can't believe it. Blah, and
This scattered everywhere. You got high ranking, low ranking, scum of the earth. They're all over the place, and you don't know it. And I'm telling you, once he gets there, like I said, all bets are off.
Yeah. They're gonna be They're gonna be like,
You,
"Where's Senator so and so?" Yeah, that fool's gone. He went to go
yeah,
link up with Thrawn and blah 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 blah. Dude,
yes,
I hope we see. Okay, this is one of my wish lists. If Dave Filoni ever hears this, please, this is a wish list for
I'm
your
a, I'm a,
movie.
I'm a tag him on this
Yeah,
video. You tag him.
get a wish list. Give us ready. Give us Poe Dameron's mom and dad as pilots during this battle. His
Oh
parents were
shit.
pilots,
Yeah.
and that's why he's such a badass as a pilot. Like, let's see them. All right, even if it's just like they show up for the final battle and you see, Red 6 and 7, and it's so and so Dameron and Mrs. Dameron. Like, I don't care. Like, badass. Like, give us something to kind of cling to, like some of these characters that we saw in the sequel trilogy to like really kind of like be like, oh, okay, like yeah, we understand.
That'd be
That's just
cool.
my ask. That's my ask. But yeah, I'm interested, dude. I'm really excited. People might say, oh, it's just what was the show about? It was just hype and just this, that. It was just fan service and so the other. Yes. If you don't have any of those things, like how do you have a successful show? Like you got to have some sort of fan service. You got to have. We get that all the time in the Marvel stuff, but like nobody really says that when they critique a Marvel show. Like it just like there's fan service and everything. Like why would you not have fan service? And again, like I keep saying this, but like Dave Filoni says, like y'all gotta watch this shit, man. It's just like it's almost like if they were to have done Lord of the Rings in one movie,
Oh
just
yeah.
wouldn't it couldn't work. Like you wouldn't bond with the characters. You wouldn't buy all into the struggle of Frodo carrying the ring and all this other things. Like you have to have multiple things to build and get to this whole climax. And that was another thing that somebody was saying, like, oh well, the final battle with the Ahsoka and that one chick, like we were supposed to like feel something. I feel what? See how awesome it was to see again a character from Clone Wars, Mother Townsend, who was Darth Maul's mother, and his brothers, him and his brother's mom, who brings him back to life.
Yeah.
To see her sword, like that was the sword that she used to fight Mace Windu. Like that's pretty badass. Like
Yeah.
that again, fan service, but again, badass fan service. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
like
I'm
the more
yeah.
you know what. Actually, I've been changing. I give it a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna give it an extra half. 9 out of 10 for me. If
Yeah.
anybody else has anything else to say, please feel free to put it in the comments. Maybe we'll do a follow up in our next episode of some comments on the show. But I gave it a 9 out of 10. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. Like I think just what was so cool, just the way it set up everything else, because
Yeah,
it's gonna go down. It's
yeah,
going down. Just be patient, like Thrawn and he's gonna bring hell to everyone around him, and he's gonna do it so cool, like and that kind of deal. But hey, I know one thing. We can talk about this, bro. You have to mention the one visual of when his um his his ship was finally attached to the
Oh yeah,
ring,
dude.
and they show it what in front of that was it a planet they was in front of, or the big red planet?
Yeah, Dathomir.
Yeah, bro, just that image alone is like you that show how it just show how massive that was,
Yeah,
that like the ship and everything put together. Like if that thing's almost the size of a planet on the outer ring, like what the fuck? Like that shit was pretty cool to see. It was
yeah,
really cool to see.
yeah. Well, just the scene where it docked with the ring and it was like, and
Yeah,
then
it
it
just
took off.
latched on, and bro, when that thing was gone, I was like, "Yep, they're stuck here." Okay, so I don't remember this unless where was the whale that brought them there? What happened to that one whale, or the one
Remember, they all took off into hyperspace.
even the one
Hmm.
that okay, so I for some reason I thought that one stayed behind.
No, they all took off into hyperspace.
Yeah.
The thing, like, and that was another comment. It was like, bro, how are these whales just gonna go through my field and none of them are gonna
That
die? I'm
that
gonna be
shit was
like,
cool. First of all,
I
that
mean,
shit was
like,
cool
first
to
of
see.
all, yeah,
That
it
was
was
really
cool,
cool.
really cool to see. But I'm gonna
Yes.
give you the exact fucking reason why those bombs did shit to those fucking whales. Okay,
Okay.
they're not a machine. They're not a spaceship. They don't have a fucking force field around them. They're living giant whales that can traverse through space. That's a fucking vacuum. If a human were to go in space and come out of a spacesuit, you're crushed. Now, how strong does a creature have to be to survive the vacuum of space and, being a living organism, survive traveling in hyperspace? Their fucking skin is probably like harder than diamonds. I mean, it's got to be, So of course those little landmines aren't gonna do shit to them,
Yeah.
man. I mean, come on now,
It it
like
it
they
it, it,
survive in
it
space.
yeah. The landmines did enough to get them gone.
Yeah,
That's all Thrawn wanted. He just wanted them to, okay, some a whole bunch are gonna go off, but he knows that they're gonna retreat back. They're gonna retreat back to galaxy far, far away. He was like he knew that. He knew
yeah,
that it won't do no damage. He just needs them to be a distraction. That's all it
yeah,
was. And it worked. It got them stuck there.
yeah,
So I'm like,
yeah.
motherfucker, you pretty goddamn smart. Like he was definitely
dude,
playing. He was
dude,
playing
Admiral
five steps.
Thrawn, bro. I'm telling you,
Five,
dude, you gotta watch that last season of Rebels, dude. Thrawn was like legit.
yeah, it's like he was playing chess. That's like 10 steps ahead, literally 10 steps ahead.
Yeah,
Like, damn, bro. Like it's like he's like, yeah, I know this is gonna happen. I know this is gonna happen. Yeah, if this covers this, you got this going. This work, you're gonna do this. I already know. It's good. It's like, what the fuck? Like shit. Like he's like, yeah, I know you're gonna come to the ship. I already
Oh,
know.
what was the somebody else said was, I forgot exactly who it was. Anyway, I wouldn't name drop anyways. But somebody else's comments like, bro, why would Thrawn send two TIE fighters to go blow up Sabine and Wren when two dropships full of stormtroopers couldn't take him out? I'm
Distractions.
Exactly. I'm like, bro, he told you last episode. The only thing that she has is time. And he was just trying to buy time for them to get the fuck out of there. You
Yeah.
really think he's gonna send 30 fucking TIE fighters that are obviously you can see in the hangar that could hold them off for however long they needed when
All,
you could have
all,
just done that with two? It's like, come on
and
now.
and
Like,
and they did the job. They took out Ahsoka's ship. Okay, cool. Some casualties happen. Oh well, this is war.
yeah,
Casualties gonna happen. You know,
yeah.
as long as that ship is busted down, now they gotta ride horseback. And guess what? Become horseback. I'm gonna bring hell to their ass if they get past that. I'm gonna have these motherfuckers waiting for them if they get past that. I'm gonna have Morgan wait for them, and by that time, I'm out. Like,
Yeah,
I'm out. Like
yeah. His like I find
that
it hard
shot,
to believe
that
people
shot clock was
forgot that
going.
like.
That shot clock was going down quickly. That shot
Oh
clock
sure,
was.
yeah, hell yeah. That I find it like hard to believe like people just didn't like understand that like his whole goal was just to get off of the planet, like not to sit there and fight and beat Ahsoka and all of them. Like his
Yeah.
job was he's like, I need to get out because homegirls right here, they done told me that the remainders of the Empire is waiting for me, so I got shit. I just need to get out.
Right.
And that was the whole goal, man. I don't know, man. I just think I think just people are silly, bro. Like, come on now, really?
It's like it's like he was in jail. He got that one letter. Oh, I got a party waiting for me once I get out. Oh, they're all gonna be there. Okay, shit. Okay, cool. Once I get out, party time, bitches. Let's fuck this bitch up now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He's like, I'm out.
Like I said, fuck this shit. I'm out. But
Oh man. Well, all right, pop culture fam. That's gonna do it for us on our premiere episode for season 2 of the Radioactive Pop Culture
yes, sir.
podcast.
Yes, sir.
As always, definitely subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube to both of our channels where we both upload the video portion of our podcast, and the audio version will definitely be up on Apple Podcasts on Thursday. If you're watching this or listening.
And also too, let's so how you want to do it? Because I know in a couple of days, a certain misfit of a misfit in the magical arts is from the.
Oh, we lost him. All right. You what now?
Sorry about that, Peter. We have
technical difficulties. It happens. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah, it's the end of the show, so it's fine. We're at the end. It's okay. No, I was saying was we should definitely go ahead and start talking about the Mr. Loki himself.
Yeah, tomorrow, baby. Yeah. Episode 1 is tomorrow. Yeah. Obviously, I've seen some mixed reviews so far, but I really don't care. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna give it my 2 cents, and then so next episode we'll probably have maybe 2, maybe 3 episodes under our belt, and we'll do.
It's 6 episodes, so we probably do 2.
Yeah.
Because I know of me when I'm seeing people talk about it, it's definitely it's a HBO level Marvel show, finally. Like the way House of Dragon is, like that type of like just set world building sets and everything comes with House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones on HBO.
Yeah.
Loki season 2 is on that level from what I'm hearing about. So and also too, I heard from seeing people already watched it and that kind of did the first 4 episodes. Episode 2, you want to have some McDonald's waiting for you when you watch the episode. You want to kind of partake in the fun of eating McDonald's. Episode 2.
All right. So you heard it here first. Get your McDonald's for episode 2.
Yes, sir.
Get a little 10-piece nugget, basket of fries,
or McFlurries,
and
or a stupid ass Shamrock Shake. That's an inside joke, people. That me and him inside joke, or McRib, or the
McDowell's.
The McDowell's, that one, yeah. Or the Mac Wrap.
The Mac Wrap.
Mac Wrap.
That is hilarious. All right, Pop Culture Fam. Well, that'll do it for us this week. And again, we're back. We got season 2 going on. Again, this was our reactions for Ahsoka, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
We out.